welcome back to our channel. My name is Corey.
And my name is Joel. You can follow me on all social media platforms at JROSE Music Official. Also check me out on all streaming platforms at JROSE, JROSE.
Yeah, so today we're going to be doing a pretty popular tag. It's called the boyfriend tag. But the way we're doing it is going to be a little bit different. We're going to try to go deeper into the conversation with different intimate topics and, like exploring vulnerabilities, some fears, some growth points and within our relation and our time knowing each other. So if you're interested in that and you want to find out more, stay tuned and we're going to dive into it. I guess I've structured it in about like 5 main categories. So memory lane, love and insecurities, growth and challenges, spiritual bonds, and future visions. So we're going to dive into each of those topics, I guess, accordingly. I'm going to be looking a little bit at my phone because I wrote those questions down. So I guess without further ado, we'll just get started.
Okay.
So the first category, memory lane.
Memory lane.
That's what I edited. Okay. So what was your first impression of me versus how you see me now?
I think my first impression of you was that you seemed a little bit bigger than this world, like, and just in terms of like your spirit, like what was harnessed in your physical body was more than could be harnessed physically. So I think that you were, there was more to you, definitely hidden, and I think very creative, loving, it just kind of things around that realm, kind, caring, understanding, and such like that. And I think that it hasn't really changed. I think that if anything, it's definitely amplified. I think getting to see it more. So I think that my first thought, or the first thing I thought about when I seen you, I think is very similar to what it is now. Because I think I'm very good at reading people, and I get a feeling, and usually that gut feeling is coming from some kind of place. So, yeah.
I guess for me, I feel like the first time I met you, it was like an instant like spark and an instant like ignition of like recognition. It's like we've seen each other before, but we never met before, and it's like when there's that level of instant like familiarity that I've never experienced before. It was very, his energy is very intense, and he doesn't talk a lot, and I'm like already like kind of intense in my own regard, but like he's even more like intense. So I was getting like intimidated, I remember, and I feel like it was hard to talk, but eventually like the conversation just became easy, and we flowed right into really like deep and dark things, I guess, that people would usually stray away from within like a first encounter, but we went like straight into like, I guess, the meat and potatoes of the kind of life experiences that formulated us into taking steps to become the person that we were at that moment. And I feel like it was beautiful, and I feel like since then it's just been like an unraveling and an unfolding of like your soul and your innermost, I guess, self to me. And like being together, I feel like we've managed to like nourish and nurture each other into a better version. So I feel like the version of you now is a more unraveled version than the version of you that I first met. But it was like I recognized the beauty and the potential all the same. It's just watching, I guess, seeing you work towards your dreams and actualize them into reality. It's like, it's inspiring, it's beautiful, and I feel like seeing that all within like, I guess, the first instant as like a seed, and seeing it starting to come into fruition, it's beautiful.
That's sweet, thank you.
Yeah. Question number 2. What moment made you realize you were in love?
I think the moment that we first seen each other and I started laughing when we met. So we met in kind of like a restaurant. What did like a barista kind of thing?
It was like a lounge,
like a lounge kind of cafe kind of thing. And it was later. I think it was definitely a few hours past after work. Maybe like what, 9 o'clock. The place closed at 11. So We spent a few hours with each other, and I think that the moment that I looked them in the eyes, I knew it. Like I felt it. Like something in my soul went off, and I was curious about what that feeling was, wanting to explore that more. But I knew it from that moment. Like I had a good grasp. Like that's the person. What about you?
That was a question. That was beautiful. Okay. Let me see. What made you realize you were love? I feel like for me, it was the first kiss. Like, I feel like the conversation and everything was like so effortless and flowing, but like when we like kissed, like I keep saying like I saw like a vision of like forever, and it was very beautiful and like a spiritual moment for me, and I feel like it was like an instant like soul recognition that I've never felt. I feel like I've always kind of been like looking for that feeling and trying to create that feeling, but it was never organic and as spontaneous and beautiful. Like it never happened in the way that it was meant to be, which was with you. So I think that was beautiful.
Let's see.
Question number 3. What do you think I was afraid to show you at the beginning?
That's a good question. I think you were afraid to show your emotional side, that side that needs the constant reassurance at times. I think the side that you probably consider, and I could be wrong, but you can think that it burdens people, or maybe that it's too heavy for people to understand, so you keep it inside. So I think that you were holding that back out of fear that maybe I would leave, or I would, perhaps respond in the way that people have responded in the past. Yeah, I would say that.
I feel like for me, for you, I feel like it was the level of, I guess, trust, and like you needed a level of reassurance similar, not the same, but similar in terms of like, I guess, trust and like building that kind of strong foundation. Excuse me, voice back. So I guess that was something that you were afraid to show at the beginning, but I also think that there were other factors that were happening at the same time, but that was mixed in with the current reality and like past experiences, and I feel like that later was able to mend.
Yeah.
Okay, that was really nice. So the next, I guess, segment is love and insecurity. I don't know.
That's right.
Okay.
So love and insecurities. The first question out of that section would be, what's the one thing I do that triggers your insecurity but you've never told me?
One thing you do that triggers my insecurity that I never told you. I don't know, maybe like, I don't know. I feel like I was gonna say something like, oh, if you don't like text me to tell me where you are and you leave without me knowing, I'm just like, what happened? Like, yesterday I came home from work and I'm like, where is he? And I texted and he didn't respond, and I'm like, what happened? Like, where did he go? Like, he didn't tell me. But
I was getting my hair braided.
Got his hair braided. And I was like, oh, I should have just told me. And I'm like, where's the car? I'm like, what? I'm like, Mimi's here. I'm like, did she go out? Like, what happened? Was it work? Was it like something else? Like, what happened?
No.
So yeah, I think that's for me. How's that for you?
The one thing that you do that triggers my insecurity. I don't know anything. I could say something in the past, but now, I don't know. Should I mention something in the past?
Yeah, if you can't think of anything.
Not understanding what the barrier is between friend and relationship, and rather what line that should be there that's drawn, that people can't overpass, like some type of boundary, and how you set those boundaries between friendships, family, and relationships, and how sometimes you've let them blur in the past. Yeah. Number 2, what's your biggest fear when it comes to our relationship?
My biggest fear is growing apart in a way where it's like, if we're both busy with our careers and our endeavors, that like we have less and less time to spend with each other and relax outside of like helping each other with our endeavors. Like I feel like, yeah, because it's just like it's gonna only get busier, and time is so precious, and I feel like I just want to make the most of the time that we have together, and also prioritize a good, healthy balance without stifling either of our passions.
My biggest fear when it comes to our relationship, I think, would be something along the similar line. I think that the lifestyle that I am, not necessarily lifestyle, but the life that I'm trying to build for myself, there's a lot of access, and sometimes like my fear always was, even prior to having a partner, was that I didn't want that person that I'm with to see the type of lifestyle that is, I guess, being built, because I think it's inevitable when you're wanting to achieve something like that it comes with more access, more visibility, more of everything. Your whole life, it becomes different. It ceases to be normal by regular means. And I think that person kind of seeing everything, and then also maybe seeing like different people, different this, different that, getting enticed by that, and then also to potentially getting enticed by that certain type of lifestyle, and then that turning into like resentment, jealousy. And this is more like general types of things. This is not even what I, would of this relationship in particular, but things that I feared in the past. The next one is, how do you really feel when I pull away emotionally?
I was gonna sing it with the song that we were working on.
Oh no.
I feel cold, and it feels distant, and I don't know, it feels like two halves are arguing. Even though we're whole within ourselves, it feels like, it's just like, you're my only person I talk to, really. So just like, who else am I gonna go to if the one person I go to doesn't talk to me anymore? Like, God? Maybe?
Yeah, you can. I think that, as he said, it feels...
Sorry.
I think that he said that it feels senseless. Like, it feels... Like, why are we fighting if we're like, we built kind of like our lives around one another? And so when one is pulling away emotionally, the scale's unbalanced. And it's like, the minute that happens, it feels like, yeah, half of your world has been sliced off, and you're kind of just like left to kind of just go within yourself. I think a lot of the times when that happens, there's a lot of like self-reflection, because you kind of feel that you're by yourself, especially because we live with one another and such like that, and we build our life around one another. So when we're fighting or pulling away emotionally, that lack of presence is felt. So it's, yeah, I feel that it feels unnecessary, it feels weird, and it feels like inorganic.
Yeah.
So the next one that we're going to be moving on to, so that was love and insecurities. Now it's growth and challenges. Growth and challenges.
So, what have you healed while being in this relationship?
I've healed I'd healed from insecurity, and I healed by gaining more security within myself within this relationship, that like being like loving myself, understanding that I'm more than enough, and I know that I bring a lot to the table, like equal footing to what my significant other should be bringing. So I think that I've kind of built something within myself that I know my worth. I know what I bring to the table, and I know what I put into a relationship, which is, my all. A relationship requires that kind of commitment and that kind of consistency, and I know that I bring that, and I know that I'm constantly self-reflecting. I think that I also bring like the ability to understand and the depth to go down to where somebody else is, understanding that we're all different and understanding that our needs might be different. I think I learned that within this relationship prior to my other ones, or rather than prior to this one. I've learned a lot. I learned that people are different. Sometimes the way you care for somebody might be different. Sometimes what somebody's asking for versus what you're asking for, again, might be different. And you have to respect that. You have to understand that, and you can't get frustrated when somebody's needs or expectations might not feel like your own. It's not a competition. Love should never be a competition in terms of, like a tick for a tat. It should be a competition constantly of who can love somebody the most. Like, you should always want to be upping the love. Does that make sense? You should always want to be upping the love that the other person's giving. So it's not necessarily like a competition, like I did this, you didn't do this, or you did this, I didn't do that, but rather who can love the most each day to make sure that you're giving your all, essentially. So if you're in a competition with anybody, it's with yourself. How can you love that person more than you did yesterday, and vice versa? So yeah.
What have I feel honestly, I feel like a need for, I guess, surrounding myself with people and fitting into spaces, I guess, where I don't belong. And I feel like I've healed in a way, I guess, the desire, but also distance away from, I guess, my own, acknowledging my own potential and my own shine, and wanting to be, I guess, recognized for my gifts and strengths in spaces that I don't belong in. And I feel like I've healed also my way of, I guess, creating boundaries with people in my life and becoming I guess, overall more assertive and strong-willed person. I've always been strong-willed, but I feel like being more assertive and more standing up for myself and what I believe in. I feel like he was, and it still is, like a good example of that. And he's a lot more like fiery and stuff than I am, and it's healed a part of me that wants to be heard, and it's allowing me to, I guess, stand on my own 2 feet in a way that, and experience independence that in a way that I haven't before. So, yeah.
Nice.
To growth and challenges. When did we feel the most disconnected?
I think in the beginning of the relationship. I think when we were trying to understand one another, and also to going through what we were going through, I think there was a period of disconnection, or rather a lack of connection, just due to communication barriers.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah. What about you?
There's a lot of ups and downs at the beginning, because we were just kind of ironing out the kinks, especially like towards the end of the honeymoon phase. I feel like there was a lot happening, but we were still, I guess, getting to know and relearn, I guess, and like each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's about it. What's something you're still learning about being a partner?
Being a partner takes more than just you agreeing to commit, more than you just being faithful. It requires you to actually go within yourself every day and better yourself. Even when sometimes you may think your actions are justified, you have to look beyond your own sense of justice and your own sense of what's wrong and right, and put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Even when you feel that you are underserving yourself, if that makes sense. You have to understand that, okay, I might feel that the action that I took was right, what I said was right, how I responded was right, and it doesn't matter if they're hurt because it's me and myself. And you have to actually put yourself in that person's shoes and say, you know, the way I spoke to that person, did I say it in a way that was necessarily understanding of their personality? Could I have reworded something? Could I have responded and acted a different way? You know, though I feel justified, do I feel satisfied with the outcome? And does this deserve a review, to go back and to rehash that and to understand it? It's constantly pushing yourself to be better. And I think that self-improvement is some of the hardest things, because admitting is the first step. So I understand that sometimes going within yourself, you end up kind of gaining your own sense of justice and what's wrong and what's right, because again, at the end of the day, we are sometimes at our core, unless you do the work, like insecure beings, and we've also grown up forming our own view of life and our own, you know, our own sense of justice, as I keep saying. So I understand that in a relationship, all the time, it's a constant battle with yourself, even sometimes. And sometimes you're going within yourself and you're saying, okay, let me become better. Let me evolve from this, not just for them, but for myself as well, because it helps you. The skills that you work on in a relationship actually translate to your whole life. Because again, you're spending time with people. A relationship is the opportunity to spend time with somebody who's different than you. Even if you guys have the same things in common, you guys are at the core two different people, two different souls, two different upbringings, two different cultures, potentially completely different. And again, you are gaining those skills to work out in the, you know, the real world, to go about your daily life, to do all those types of things. So you're bettering yourself on a whole level. So yeah, moral of the story is being in a relationship requires daily self-improvement.
Yeah, I guess to piggyback off of that, I feel like it's always going back to the drawing board of what you think your personality is as an individual, and then also like comparing and contrasting how that is in in a union, and trying to morph yourself into a better version, like evolving yourself. And I feel like, yeah, it's important to remember why you made the commitment in the first place, and understand that every individual person is on a journey of growth and is learning more about themselves each day.
Yeah.
And we're learning more about each other each day, but also understand that there's no stagnancy or like complacency. You know, it's always moving forward, and with or without each other in our lives, we're meant to grow and be I guess the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
So how can you complement that with one another, and how can you like synchronize and like harmonize to help each other grow?
True. I like that.
Yeah. So number 4 topic, spiritual bond.
Spiritual bond.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that, or you might just be doing it. You could this good.
Spiritual bond. Now it's getting real good. Do you think we met in a past life? Why or why not?
Yes, I do. We've had many conversations about this. But before we met, I've had like premonitions and dreams that I was gonna meet him. Yeah, I've had dreams that I was gonna meet him. And I didn't know his name, but I've seen his face before. And I guess when he answers the question, he's gonna go even more in depth in that. But it really synced up what we were feeling before.
again, this is a conversation that we rehash quite often, but yes, I do believe that we have met in a past life on numerous occasions. I think what really like sealed that for me was the resonance that I got from when I met them. Like, I've seen them before, and then it kind of clicked to me that I've seen previous dreams of like different forms, like different versions of them, just like it was almost like my life was preparing me for that. And I, again, and this might sound crazy, you know, if you believe it if you want, and don't believe it if you don't want to, it's up to you. But again, I've had dreams, and I've had like recollections, and I've had visions of, you know, somebody coming into my life that definitely resembled them. So it's undeniable, and I think that everything leading up to it, and there's more to it, one day maybe I'll go into it more, but everything led up and happened the way it was supposed to happen, let's just say. What does divine timing mean to you in the context of us?
Divine timing means patience. Patience. And in terms of like, you know, sometimes like being farsighted is a blessing and a curse. And it's all about going with the rhythm and the intonations, I guess, of where you are currently and where you've been, and acknowledging the growth trajectory of it all, and taking time to slow down and be grateful for it all, and understand that life's a movie and there will never be a sequel. And I'm good with that.
As long as I'm peaceful.
As long as 7 years from now I'm taking my daughter to preschool. Yeah, it's fast. No, but also I feel, divine timing. Divine timing works in ways that are beyond our understanding, beyond our control. God's time is not our time. God measures the weight of the clouds with chemicals of different alchemical like things that are beyond human perception. Like, he orders angels to do this, that, and the third. Like, it's not for us to understand. We're just mortals in this vessel, in this place and time. Like, that's not for us at all, you know. So like, there's a lot of things that you could like try to rush or try to avoid, but if it's the time for it, it's the time for it, and it's gonna happen regardless. So I feel like the divine timing definitely struck for us and for our meeting and our crossing of paths, if you will. So yeah,
I think exactly what you said. I think divine timing was the necessary setup for what was going to happen and what happened. It's the setup for what happens within our lives when things fall into place. It's not a coincidence. It's not a stroke of luck. It's not a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but rather it's fate working within its favor and doing what fate does. Divine timing is the pre-calculation of the exact ingredients that God needs to assure what happens within your life. It's not a chance. This was already written in a book that we are not privy to, but we live through. And I definitely feel that, again, divine timing was like working exactly on point, and it did what it had to do, and what had to happen happened, and what has to play out has to play out. And again, you can't interfere with divine timing, because divine timing comes when you least expect it, but rather it's playing out actively. You know, where you are right now is divine timing. Where you're going to be in 10 years happened because of divine timing. And you know, where you think you're going to go, when that happens is also divine timing. Things happen when they're supposed to happen. You might think that you made that thing happen faster, but this was already predestined to happen. You just weren't privy to that information.
yeah.
In what ways do you think the universe is using our love to heal others?
That's a good question. I feel like anybody who is at the right, I guess, I know it sounds woo-woo, but the right vibration, the right frequency to I guess, resonate with what we're talking about and, you know, really connect with our message, resonate with maybe just, initially it's just our physical appearance or like our spirit, and it might be like a subconscious thing, and then like stay long enough to like get to know our personality and resonate with that. I feel like we're just like mirrors for the people watching, and the I guess beacons of I guess fractals of each other and fractals of the Most High, and like we're here to like inspire each other and like ignite each other to, you know, live fully, authentically in your own skin, and be unapologetic and bold and courageous, and, you know, live this life to the fullest, because again, we only get one, and everybody should be on the path of like loving themselves and growing into the best versions of themselves and all that good stuff. And I feel like, yeah, the type of people that come across this and that are ready to, I guess, receive that might be a match for the type of like a subscribers and viewers that come across this. So if you're watching this, then that's you, and you're beautiful and you're loved and you're whole. And yeah, I guess that's what that is for that.
That's the way the universe, wait, were you done?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the way that the universe uses the love within our relationship to heal others. I think that love in general, the fragments and the little fractals of love that we have within our lives, it all goes to one bigger source and comes from one bigger source. It's like a recycling type of thing. I believe in God, so I believe that, you know, He is the epitome of love, and our love stems. We have pieces. We are able to love on a, you know, small little fraction of what God can love us on. And this is within my opinion and with what I believe. I do believe that we are mirrors of our Father, and so we can experience certain feelings that He can. But however, we can never love to His degree, because that love is beyond our understanding. When we love and when we engage in genuine love, you are experiencing what God feels every single day. And that's why love is such a sacred feeling, because it comes from God. It's the purest feeling that somebody can have, is unconditional love. Because unconditional love supersedes any image created on this material plane. Love is the purest currency that you could ever obtain within your life. And I think that when we love, we are sending that into the universe, and it is going back to our Creator, and our Creator sending us love back. But I think also too, as he was mentioning, the souls that see these types of, come across these videos and may not be experiencing love, but rather learning about what love is and trying to find love. The love that we are transmuting through this device to you is somewhat resonating with that love that you have within yourself that you may not know about, or that you currently are on a journey of knowing, or that you've already found. And again, love is transmutable, it's contagious, and it's healing. So we are all healing one another through that love, while also sending that love back up, and also experiencing what God loves, which is us, every single day. So His love is just coming through our hearts, and it's spreading like wildfire.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So the next and last segment is future vision.
Okay. So, what's one dream you have for us that you've never said out loud?
I think, well, I don't say it often, but longevity. I think that everything else that I've mentioned within our relationship, or that I want to achieve within our relationship, I've mentioned, but I don't always say longevity, probably because, you know, we understand that, but just to voice that out, I think longevity, and not just necessarily longevity within the relationship, but longevity within our lives, to see each other grow, and to live our full life, and to watch the changes in the different seasons and different life lessons and things like that. I think that time is the most important thing in life, and it supersedes anything.
That's good.
What about you?
so loud. I don't know. I feel like I've said everything a lot of it transparent. Yeah, I guess honestly just being in the moment as things progress and unfold and flourish into fruition in terms of the seeds of dreams that either of us have had when we were like children, and seeing that kind of come to life in whatever facet that may manifest as through God's will. And yeah, watching, I guess, life unfold and the blessings raining down, and being grateful and being present for it all. Where do you really see us in 5 years? Career, love, and life.
Career, 5 years from now, I see us traveling the world. I see my music career definitely gaining a lot of traction. I think there's going to be a lot of success. I know there's going to be a lot of success. There's going to be a lot of different opportunities. There's going to be advancements within that. I definitely see you being there, supporting me along the journey, also getting to see a lot and to learn a lot as well within the music industry, things that you've always wanted to learn and seeing things that you've always wanted to see. So both of us just getting the fulfillment of seeing the world and achieving that dream of getting to just see different things, meet different people, and just kind of explore what Mother Nature has to offer in different countries, in different countries. I also see you, cut this part out too, I'm choking on something. I'm choking, I need some water. But no, not right now. I see you finishing your book, one of your books, I think, and working on something else. I see us definitely not living here anymore where we're living now. I think we're gonna have something. We're gonna have bought something. We're gonna, definitely bought something. Being young entrepreneurs and getting ready to quit our 9-to-5 jobs to fully go full steam ahead. Together and happy, of course, and with our animals, and our animals being 5 years older, so seeing them in their more calmer state and just reminiscing on these times and entering our 30s, grateful, blessed, alive, healthy with our family, and just flourishing.
So, let me see, it was a career, love, and life. So I guess career-wise, 5 years from now, hopefully, ideally, no more 9 to 5, but still being able to find, I guess, fulfillment in whatever work that we pursue and do, and whether that be entrepreneurial endeavors, whichever path that might look like. Music obviously is a big one, and I feel like I said, like meeting more people, traveling a lot, collaborating a lot. That's gonna be fun, in all different aspects. And I guess in terms of love, I guess steady on the course of still learning each other every day and growing more committed and more dedicated to showing up as the best version of ourselves for each other. And then in terms of life in general, hopefully, I guess just getting stronger, staying on the path of wellness and holistic, like all around, like good life energy, whether that be like emotionally with friends, mentally, spiritually, physically in your body, like exercise, like vitamins, extra nutrients and stuff like that. We were taking supplements and stuff, so staying on that path. And happy animals, happy life. Hopefully, probably gonna be moved from here for sure. Into something that we all like. And just honestly, young, successful, entrepreneurial, known, eventually renowned. That would be cool. I think that's coming. Just acknowledged for all of the greatness that we have to offer the world.
That's it.
If we lost everything, money, music, social media, what would still hold us together?
Again, love is a very powerful thing. And are we talking like lost, like one day you wake up and it's all gone?
One day you wake up and it's all gone.
Well, you have to understand that love, as I said, it's a very powerful bond, and love can manifest really anything if you put your mind to it. Love is a very powerful energy. And I think that if two individuals woke up and everything that they have built for themselves and together in their relationship is gone, love is so powerful that you can recreate something. And so you have to understand, going within yourself every day is reminding yourself why you love that person. When you first met this person, the things that you've had, at least a good amount of those things were not there yet. They were in the process of waiting for the divine timing to happen and to take place and for action to take course. So if you woke up with nothing, if I woke up and the things that I built for myself were completely gone, I think that the love would be that thing that would help me to reel myself back and to kind of kind of engage in terms of trying to recreate my own version of happiness again, because that love shouldn't disappear when you lose everything, because the main thing that you've needed and that you've searched for and that you found within somebody is still there. And to me, that's the most powerful thing, because once that foundation's there, again, rebuilding that foundation is the easy part. Rebuilding the home is the easy part, because the foundation was never broken.
Yeah. I feel like, I agree with everything you said. But also in terms of money and social media, those things are, again, fleeting. In the grand scheme of things, not really important for your success or your accolades in the grand scheme of things, because at the end of the day, if you're doing something that you love and creating things that you love, then love is the foundation, and it will always come back. It's like a never-ending, unlimited supply. And I feel like with music, I feel like imbuing your love into music makes that something that can never really be wiped away or erased. So I feel like that lives within a person who has that love for music or a passion for whatever it may be. And I feel like you can't really take that away. They could try, but they can't take that away. So.
Well, guys, this is the end of our video, and I think that this has really, not that these are necessarily things that I didn't know, but I think that it's good to hear these types of things. I think that these types of activities, beyond just like YouTube content, I think that it's important to even have these conversations within your relationships often. It doesn't have to be necessarily within this setting, but have a conversation with your significant other and ask them these things. And there might be a lot of things that you'll uncover when you're actually asking direct questions like this, because there's a lot of things that we say and that we have within our heart that we don't say, just because, again, the question's not there. So I think that you can learn a lot, and I also think that you can kind of not necessarily reestablish that love, but you can fortify it. You can fortify it, and you can strengthen that fire that's already burning just by those daily, affirmations and words of encouragement and just spoken love. It's felt. It's transmuted in frequencies that we cannot see and that we are not privy to. Love is God's original language. And it's the thing that he has been speaking since his existence in this world, and it's the only reason why we're here. We are the result of God's love. So when you are able to constantly fuel your relationship with love and fortify it with love, then not only are you firming that foundation, but you will walk this earth happy that you have somebody who genuinely loves you. And sometimes you might think you don't need to hear these types of things, or you might think, well, I say to them all the time, they're fine, they know. But sometimes just to hear it again, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to just give a bit more love to that person, and that can really change their life, and that can really help them to grow, and that can really just only benefit you in your relationship. And so just understand that love, LOVE, is a very powerful tool. It's a very powerful feeling, and it's very sacred. And I am grateful to be able to love. I am grateful to be able to be in love. And I'm grateful to be able to just feel that feeling, because again, I know that I am close to God when I'm feeling that. And I know that we are living our purpose as human beings and engaging into something that God has blessed us with, which is our hearts, and these feelings of this 4-letter word that doesn't even give the feeling any justice. It doesn't even imbue the energy that actually comes from love, but it encapsulates it in a worldly understanding that we can kind of comprehend. Love is bigger than us, and it is what it is. So spread love, share love, feel love, enjoy love, and understand that we are connected to our God. That sounded like a rocketing wall bomb. Okay, love.